Hi, this is an email from Jade. Jade writes, so I've been in recovery for a year now and I've managed to gain weight, finally eating normal balanced meals, gradually getting through my list of fear foods and stopping the impulsive walking. I often manage to combat the idea that I will get out of control by telling myself that even though I've been unhappy with my weight in the past, I've never actually been overweight despite feeling that way. I also know that obesity is linked to yo-yo dieting. I've seen and believe this to be true, people increasing their set point over and over again through restriction and putting on extra weight. There are a couple of issues I have, or probably my anorexia has, that are providing a barrier, however much I pretend that they are not there. So true unrestricted eating due to fear about getting out of control and overweight. The first one is, what about the proven addictive nature of certain foods? High sugar, fatty junk foods, knowing that the monumental challenge it was for me to quit smoking in the past, I know I have an incredibly addictive personality. And the second is that some people also become overweight due to eating through stress, tiredness, or comfort. I know I've had very low tolerance to stress and become anxious very easily. The principle of unrestricted eating doesn't seem to address people becoming overweight out of addiction or emotion. In the past, I think I've used food to fill a void when everything had got too much. I recall times when I'd go weeks with just eating chocolate and ice cream and then over-exercising to compensate. I've got it jammed in my head that this time around when I dealt through stress through restriction and over-exercise, rather than binging on sweets and over-exercise. I don't understand that, but anyway. Though I've been in recovery a long time now and I've dealt with all the torment of gaining weight and hating what I see in the mirror and introducing balanced meals, these thoughts and concerns are really standing in the way of a true full recovery and letting go. I think something very common with people with anorexia is fear and uncertainty. Having just got to my normal weight range now, I'm constantly thinking, well, how will I know when I reach my set point, when to stop, and I'm doing all this wrong? Through the compulsions and the fears ease off, these thoughts in particular seem to get harder as I climb the BMI range. Anyway, I'd be grateful in your thoughts on this. Many thanks, Jade. All right, so let's go back up to those questions. The first thing that you write there is, what about the proven addictive nature of certain foods? There's actually no proven addictive nature of certain foods. Sugar is the one that's most commonly cited. And I did a podcast once and it was called State of Science, Sugar Addiction. I spoke to a researcher that had disproven that sugar addiction was actually a thing. And so research actually shows that, and in long story short, they did it on mice and there's these addictive circuits in the brain. And they actually were able to prove that the addictive circuits in the brain do not light up due to food substances. It's not the same thing. And what they were able to show though was that after periods of not allowing the mice to have things like sugar, when they were allowed to have things like sugar, they ate them a lot and a lot and a lot consistently. So all that actually confirmed was the binge restrict cycle. If you restrict food, what is going to happen as soon as you're allowed that food is you're going to eat a ton of it. So sugar addiction is actually not a thing. And like I keep on going back to, nutritional science is a baby. It's in its infancy. You can't take anything you read in pop psych magazines or nutrition magazines for granted. It's just not a strong science at the moment. And what happens is researchers do this stuff and then the media gets hold of it and blows everything out of control. So you may feel like, oh, no, the proven addictive nature of certain foods. There's no proven addictive nature of certain foods. If anything, it's actually been disproven. So you have to be really careful with what you allow yourself to believe as true when it comes to nutrition science. And the other thing that you've written, so people also become overweight due to eating through stress, tiredness, or discomfort. Well, I've done quite a few videos on things like comfort eating. I don't believe that emotional eating is the thing, or at least not in the same way that most people think of it. I do not think of it as this vice that people assume it to be. Think about it from your body's point of view. If you're stressed, stress means that you have to operate in a higher gear. It means that you've got to be on the ready. It means that something bad is coming in the horizon. So the intelligent thing for your wonderful body to do is to store fat, to store energy. Think of stress as like, if you think of energy, if you think of calories as money, then if you knew like, oh God, there's a recession coming next year, what's the smart thing you'd do? You'd start saving money. You'd start piling it away. You'd start saving it because you know you're going to need it when the recession comes. So if your body's stressed, it's kind of thinking, oh God, something stressful is coming. You know, historically stressful things require us to have a lot of energy to go through hard times. It's doing the intelligent thing by asking you to eat more food so it can store energy. And the problem that you have with all of this, and it's not just you, it's a lot of other people as well, is this fattest attitude, this idea that gaining weight is a bad thing. It's a vice. It's always a bad thing. In many circumstances, the most intelligent thing that your body can do is gain weight. And if you're stressed and your body says, oh, actually what I need to do in order to help you deal with this stress is to store more energy and gain weight, then that's all there is to it. There doesn't need to be all this judgment that this is a bad thing. And all of these worries that are coming to you, they're all basically fear of weight gain. You are still scared of gaining weight. And that's the first thing you're going to have to rewire if you want to fully recover. Because committing to recovery and committing to your unsuppressed body weight doesn't just mean I commit to my unsuppressed body weight, but only if it's a BMI 22 or less. No, it means that you go with your body and you trust your body. Because all of our bodies come in different sizes and our bodies do amazing and intelligent things. And sometimes that includes gaining weight for certain circumstances and certain environments. And so what you can be sure of is that whatever happens in your life, your body's got you. It's going to do what it needs to do. And sometimes that's going to be gaining weight. And that is not a bad thing. Weight gain is not by definition a bad thing. Sometimes it's the healthiest thing that you could do. And this is going back to a health at every size attitude, which doesn't just say, like automatically gaining weight or getting up to a certain BMI is a bad thing. And for the process of recovery, unless you can control these fear-based thoughts, and unless you can face them and say, I am not afraid of my body, and I'm not afraid of what my body may or may not need to do, and I trust my body, that if, for whatever reason, whether I deem it emotional eating or boredom eating or whatever you want to label it, all that you need to know is my body is asking for food. So the labels aren't actually needed. It's just as simple as that. My body is asking for food. Therefore, the best thing that I could do is give it food. And the only other decision that you can make, even if you label it as all of these, oh, that's emotional eating, so I shouldn't eat. Oh, that's boredom eating, so I shouldn't eat. Oh, it's all restriction. It's all being like, I judge this to be an event where I shouldn't eat and I should override what my body is telling me because I read in psychology today that boredom eating is a thing and it's a thing that we shouldn't do. And so I'm going to trust psychology today over what my body is telling me right now, and I'm going to judge that I am boredom eating and I'm not going to do it. It's still restriction. You can dress it up, you can put bells and whistles on it, and it's still restriction. And that's not something that you can do. Restriction is not something you can do if you want to recover from a restrictive eating disorder. And the most frustrating thing about all of this is that if you can just get your head out of this fear of weight gain, judgment, fat phobia place, and just say, it's really simple and I can just trust my body. It's such a freedom. And the fear goes away if you can do that. You have to work out how to do that. I had to work out how to do that. I had all the same thoughts as you. I had to work out how to do that. I had to work out to let it all go and just say, this isn't about the information that I read somewhere or someone told me once or anywhere else. This is right now in this moment. This is between me and my body. And right now in this moment, my body is saying, I want more Maltesers, or I want more Cadbury's Boosts, or I want more bacon flavour crisps, which, by the way, we don't get in the USA. The shit crisps that we get over here, basically your favours are ready salted or Doritos, or the ranch flavours. And you can get salt and vinegar and cheese and onion and stuff like that, but in England you can get prawn cocktail, or you can get, around Christmas you get turkey stuffing flavour or glazed ham flavour. Not here. You might get barbecue crisps here, and that's kind of like, ooh, steady on. Anyway, so the flavours of crisps in the USA are shit compared to England. I can't remember what got me onto that, but oh yeah, the point being, it was about me and my body in that moment, and all of the information that I thought I know is irrelevant actually when your body is saying to you, I want more prawn cocktail crisps. That's as simple as it is. And in that moment, are you going to say, I trust you, body, or are you going to say, oh, this might be boredom or emotional or something else eating and I shouldn't do it? Life's too short. All right, hope that helps. Happy Friday, everyone. Bye.